Yes, Brent. Then we were just here last week for this for some racing here on the iRacing Esports Network, and ready for some more action here tonight in the 305 wing sprint cars. And well, Brandon, I'm going to make my first faux pas of the night. The viewers did not hear you introduce the series because I had something screwed up. So this is the Synergy Dirt Racing Series. It's Corey Silva and Brandon Krutz here on PTR TV. Saturday Night Blunder Count #1, but we'll throw it around.
I see how it is, Corey.
Yeah.
You know, you let me open, and then you don't let me open.
Yeah. So anyways, we'll spit that right around, as we said, at Volusia in the 305s. And, well, Brandon, we've seen quite the shows here with these guys in this series. And one thing they have never let us down on, which they haven't let us down on much, but they've always had a full field of cars, and that leads us into the full night worth of heat racing that we will have leading into the feature, Brandon. And again, 40 cars, full grid of pits here tonight, full of vehicles.
Absolutely, it is awesome. And you know, 40 cars, and we were just talking to one of the guys that runs the league and saying that you know, they really got to maybe even expand the number of entries that they'll allow in here, because this league is growing so quickly, and it is really an awesome thing to see.
Yes, it is. I mean, we know how many different series there are on iRacing for drivers to take part in, and being able to get 40 drivers on a Saturday night, these guys are definitely doing something right. And Can lead you in the right direction if you like what you see from the viewer's side of view. Well, from the viewer's perspective, just imagine what it's like in the driver's seat here in the 305s, Brandon. And we're at the half mile here in Volusia. And as you said, we've covered a race here in the super late models, and it's going to be quite the different show here in these underpowered 305s.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys taking on the half mile tonight to Volusia, and this is already a bad, fast track. So, you know, add the 305s, add a big wing to it, and these guys are going to be flying around here with the small motors.
Yep, so Brandon, just in that regard, what are we going to see then? We know Volusia, the layout here is not it's not normal, if you will. It's not the standard oval that we're used to seeing. It's kind of that egg shape, or this awkward circle, if you will. So what is it going to be like in these underpowered cars here in this?
Well, you're going to want to try to arc it into the corner as much as you can, especially if you're going to be running that low side, to try to get the best run off and just hold your momentum. And, you know, of course, down the backstretch, it's easier to do that because you're kind of at a wide sweeping angle down the back. And, well, down the front stretch, you got to work it a little bit more off of 4 to get that run.
Yeah, and we'll see how that happens. I'm sure it's going to be all about holding your line and being consistent, but we are getting ready for heat number 1 here on the night, and here is the starting lineup for it. It's going to be Lewis Clark on the front row with Brent Holloway in position number 2, Al Pacer in 3rd, Michael Rodriguez in 4th. Then we're going to have Steve Clare and Frank Hartley Jr. 5th and 6th, Chevy Coleman and Royal Cutaway 7th and 8th, and then Bradley Capione and Michael Kerr, the top 10. And Brandon, if you can just give the viewers at home, what is the format, how many are going to transfer, and how many are we going to have in the features here tonight?
Well, if everything goes well, I believe 4 heat races tonight, Corey, and 10 lap heat races with 5 transferring to the feature, so that position number 5 spot is going to be the one that we're going to have to watch for the transfer spot tonight.
Yes, it is the number 5 spot out of the 10 cars, and we've seen many races here on PTR TV and many races in this Synergy Dirt Racing Series, and the ones that we have covered go down to the wire on the transfer spot. And again, looking forward to see how that does play out here tonight. Lewis Clark and Brent Holloway top of the board, so remember, they will be all set. Top 5 are going to be all set, but a lot is going to happen in 10 short laps here at Volusia as we complete the first of 2 pace laps, and half mile more, and this race in tonight's action will be underway.
So, one more time around before we go green for the first time of the night, and I don't know, I think these guys, Corey, are gonna try to play around with some lines, especially as the track starts to get worn in a little bit, and you know, we'll have to see how things go. I know that once that bottom line gets worn out, you're gonna have to move up a little bit, especially through 3 and 4, and well, we're gonna see how things go. The pace truck getting ready to drop off, this time by that 111 machine, Lewis Clark. Going to be leading these guys for heat race number 1 to green, the first time of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, the pace truck is off. Green flag is in the air. We're underway at Volusia.
And I'll tell you, that outside line, Brent Holloway, he was ready on the jump there. We're already 3 wide for the lead entering turn 1. Al Pacer had a run, had to back off. But heading into 3, that 0-2 with the jump off the outside, he's going to fall back in line and see if he can get the momentum off of 4, completing lap number 1.
Side by side through quarters number 1 and 2. Now down the back straightaway. That 0-2 still hanging strong on the outside. The 111 still not quite able to clear down into the 3.
Yeah, it's very surprising, Brandon, that outside already is showing some mustard this early in the race. These underpowered cars, but that's a little bit too high, if I would say so myself. 0-2, so he will fall back in line. Lead battle will shuffle out for the time being, but we go back to 5th. That's where the money spot's going to be. Frank Hartley has it, and I'll tell you, Steve Clare wants it. He's trying for it in that 39.
Yeah, absolutely he is. Frank Hartley Jr. riding that low side right now, trying to get something done. That 25 machine, he wants the automatic transfer into this feature.
Yes, he does, and he's going to go high up the track. That's not, well, rather he's going to go low on the track. That battle behind him right now is actually going to be helping him. That's Pacer and Clare. So now Pacer.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, big contact. Clare upside down. That's going to put him to the back of the field, 10th place with a damaged machine. So that's going to give Pacer that number 5 spot, and he has quite the buffer back to Chevy Coleman, so the transfer spot may be uncontested in this race. But Brandon, up front, Lewis Clark in that 111 machine, that 111, holding a pretty steady gap over Holloway.
Yeah, you know, Corey, the one thing that these drivers really can work on here is the steady wheel movements. You want very subtle movement in that steering wheel. Let the car do the steering for you. You've got that big right rear tire. That's what you want to utilize in the corner. You don't want to be cranking the wheel all over the place.
You can already see the line difference, Brandon, between Holloway and Clark. Seems like Holloway really going down low, washes up pretty high in the center of the corner, rather the 111 just holds a steady and consistent line, and I think that is what's adding and growing that lead that Lewis Clark has accomplished thus far as we come off 4 to take the white flag.
White flag this time by Lewis Clark in that 111 machine. Looking like he's going to be bad fast tonight. He may be one that we got to watch going into the feature as he's going to be transferred in. Now, heading out through turns 3 and 4, the winner of heat race number 1 going to be Lewis Clark.
Clark, Holloway, and Rodriguez, the top 3, and then Hartley Jr. and Pacer, 4th and 5th. They will transfer. 6th through 10th will have to go into the B-Main later tonight. But now these guys are going to get situated on the grid, and heat number 2 is going to be coming to you right about now. So let's let you know where they're going to start for this one. Front row in heat number 1, Horton Bailey, with Brett Rolls in position number 2. Devin Boots, we've always seen him up in front of these fields, with Anthony Marvuglio. Sorry, Anthony, if I butchered that. Looks like he's a new driver to the league. Brett Perigo in 5th. James Webb in 6th. Justin Sick in 7th. Bruce Wiles in 8th. Lyle Christensen and Ron Rogues rounding out the top 10 in heat number 2.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Horton Bailey, that number 2 machine, going to be leading these guys off the grid into the green for heat race number 2. And, well, we got a stacked field tonight. Looks like we're going to be able to run all 4 heat races tonight, Corey.
Yes, we are, and that's just going to add more cars to that B-Main, Brandon. We know there's going to be 40 guys fighting for, I believe it to be 22 spots, is it? So quite the number of drivers going to be sent home. So you really want to be in these top 5 spots for your heat race so that you have that immediate transfer, that instant ticket into the feature event. But again, that's just going to add more drivers in the show. Just adds to the drama of getting to the feature.
These guys going to take one more lap around as we watch the sun start to set across the Volusia Speedway Park here on iRacing, and what a beautiful sight that is, Corey.
Yeah, just it doesn't get old. We've been, I think it's about 3 or 4 months in that we've had this new day-night transition model, and I'll tell you, Brandon, like I said, it just does not get old, and it's only going to look even better with some new features in the upcoming build and some more updates to the dirt racing model to even make it even better for these guys and amongst the rest of the dirt racing community. So again, we're looking forward to that. Thanks to iRacing for all they do. But we're getting ready for heat number 2. Pace truck is in, waiting for Bailey to get on the loud pedal. That he does. Green flag in the air, and again that outside ready to go.
Heading down through quarters number 1 and 2 now. That number 2 machine down to the low side, but once again the high side able to challenge the 18 machine. He's right there.
That 18 machine trying to stay to the right rear quarter panel, gets the momentum again off the top and takes the lead at the stripe. We're not usually expecting that top to work this early, especially in these slower cars, but it did work, and he will take the he will take the lead from the outside.
Rolls to that number 18 machine now. He's not going to be able to quite squeeze away now. He's still got company from the outside.
Yes, he does, and that company is now in the form of Marvuglio in the 238. Anthony Marvuglio in that 238 trying to go low, closing in on Bailey. That's not going to work. He's going to lose some time, but Boots and Webb, 4th and 5th. This is the transfer spot. We go back to Brett Perigo. He's about 3 car lengths back in 6th. He's going to need to gain some time if he wants to make it to the feature.
Battle for the lead still up front now. That number 2 looking at the low side of that tie by. Not quite going to work. Now he's going to try the high side. Trying to find any bit of grip that he can. Trying to keep his momentum up. He's got to try to find a way around this 18 machine if he wants to win this heat.
Remember, this is going to help their starting position in the feature event. While everyone in the top 5 will transfer, the higher you finish in your heat, the better you're going to be off in the feature. So this could mean 1 or 2 starting positions in that event. So this position does matter. And of course, you'll want to win the race if you can do it. And Bailey just stalking the back wing of that machine, looks to the inside in 1 and 2.
Side by side, down on a corner number 2. A little bit of a bobble from both of those cars now. Heading down into corner number 3. The 18 on the high side, the 2 on the low side. Momentum into the 18. He's going to prevail on a 4.
Brandon, are you surprised that the outside is working as well as it is in these cars this early in the night?
Not one bit, Corey. The low power, the high side, the bottom line just a little bit too tight around for these low horsepower motors, I believe, Corey. These guys really want to use that high side tonight.
Yeah, they are. That is definitely what we are seeing thus far. And while Bailey did close in for that 1 lap, he made that run to the inside. It did cost him some time. He will get a little bit of a run there off of 4 as we take the white flag lap in heat number 2, going all the way up to the edge of the loose stuff. He falls back. Even another car didn't get the momentum down the back straightaway he was looking for, but he's going to take a dive on the inside of turn number 3. He's going to take a dive just for it, but it's not going to happen. Heat goes to Rolls.
And that transfer position goes to James Webb. He will get into the feature also.
Yeah, Rolls, Bailey, Marvuglio, Boots, and Webb is going to transfer. And now we will give you heat number 3. The night clicking off here at Volusia Speedway for the Synergy Dirt Racing Series. Heat number 3. Starting lineup is going to be Billy Brickley, winner at Volusia, winner at Limaland. Yeah, Kokomo. He won a race. I know he did. Taylor James in 2nd, Ryan Smith in 3rd, Roddy Klein in 4th, Brandon Igo in 5th, Jake Moser, Casey Pruitt, Wyatt Layton, Benjamin Gonzalez, and Thomas Barth. The lineup in this. Where did he win, Brandon?
Kokomo.
I knew that. It was a... I knew that. Just dirt tracks, they all blend in for me. So, but yeah, Billy Brickley, we know he's fast, and we know he's usually a driver up front in these fields. So, it would not surprise me in the slightest if he can walk away with this. But you know, 9 other drivers are gonna try very hard to stop that from happening. And again, here we are, heat number 3. It is getting darker. The lights shall be turning on relatively shortly here at Volusia. And the Saturday Night Fever that is dirt racing here on iRacing underway and ready for more excitement.
These guys going to follow the iRacing official pace trucker out here for 2 slow laps before they get under green flag racing action. Billy Brickley and Taylor James going to be your front row for heat race number 3, and this will be the first time in the season, folks, that we have a total of 4 heat races that we're going to be able to run, and that is a cool sight to see. This league rapidly growing.
Yeah, we were told there was even some spots that they were already full. People could not get in. More drivers wanted to get in than there were seats available. So again, just kudos to the admins, kudos to the core driver base these guys have, and they put on quite the show. And there it is right there. There's the lights. They are turning on. And again, the night is setting here on Volusia, but heat number 3 is underway. Pace truck takes the hard left in, and Brickley will get on the loud pedal and start heat race number 3.
Awesome start for Brickley in that 00 machine, now down through corners number 1 and 2. He's got to watch low side now. He may have company down on the bottom. Oh, man. James went up into the outside wall. Also, he was another one that started on the front row. He's going to have to try to make up ground, or maybe even end up with the B-main.
Yes, he is. Right now, that transfer spot is Casey Pruitt. Pruitt is right now ahead of Benjamin Gonzalez, but Gonzalez battling with Wyatt Layton in the 069, so that is definitely music to the 69's ears, because now that's going to give him a little bit more breathing room. But actually, that 69 is trying to go to the outside of the 94. The 94 getting loose off of 4. They're going to be 3 wide at the stripe.
3 wide for that transfer position. A little bit of contact now. Hang on to her.
Yeah, they all keep it going. And remember, this is the transfer. 5 laps to go. That transfer belongs to, well, it did belong to the 69. Well, the 69 is in right now. It's the 214. He is in 5th right now. That 94 digging right on the concrete to the inside. Trying to get to the inside of Gonzalez. Can't do so. That 94 needs to make something happen.
It's a 3-way battle for the transfer position in heated race number 3. Now down to the quarter number 1. Just a handful of laps to go now. They're still going to be side by side. Looking 3 wide once again.
And that 94, he doesn't know what to do there side by side ahead of him. He has that car right behind him, a Wyatt Layton, so he can't mess around. Again, 3 wide heading into 1.
3 wide racing action, and now they're bringing in a 4th car to the mix.
The 94 was afraid to do a slide job. He was clear of the 214. He didn't want to assert himself there and cut the nose off, but he kind of needed to do it because now we're headed into 2 to go. He is transferred at the moment. The 214 and the 94 are in. The 69 is now the odd man out as we come through 3 and 4 with a white flag lap leading us on.
White flag is in the air. The battle, all eyes on this transfer
into
position.
The walls, the 69.
Oh, boy.
So now the 214 and the 94 are both going to be in. It's going to take a bonsai move by the 69, which isn't going to do anything because now the 069 is to the inside. So quite the battle has completed. Brickley wins by a long shot, but that transfer spot is going to go to Moser in the 94.
Unbelievable racing for the transfer spot in heat race number 3.
It's raining. Oh, and the 069 ends the race by being on the wall there. So that was quite the battle. That's what we like to see. Hard, clean racing. Unfortunately for the 69, it put him into the fence, but the 4th...
Maybe a backup car for that
no
machine.
pun intended, because he was backed up on the wall there. But the final of 4 heats is now presented to us, and the starting lineup is as follows. Eric Tupper, another winner this season on the front row. Dylan Mirando, quick drive there. We've seen Waylon McConnell be in victory circle as Rick Snyder is to his outside. Kevin Nixon is in 5th. Chris Miller in 6th. Zachary Emlett, Jody Butts, Dylan Hutchison, and Michael Steffen. 10 drivers in heat number 4.
So, the iRacing official pace truck rolling off once again. Corey, what awesome racing we've seen so far. Synergy Dirt Racing Series never fails to disappoint.
It does not, and it goes to show. I mean, a lot of people will say, well, these cars are underpowered. They don't put on it. Well, I beg to differ that these underpowered cars can't put on a show. You don't need 850 horsepower to put on a show. A lot of times, the slower they are, the more packed up, the more intense the racing is. I mean, take a page out of the real NASCAR Monster Energy Cup book. Sometimes the slower it is, the better it is.
These guys just aren't afraid to get after it, put the pedal down, and drive these cars the way that they're supposed to be driven. And we've seen it week after week so far. These guys know how to get at it.
Yes, they do, and as the lights are on and the sun further sets as we head into total darkness, most likely for the feature event, Tupper and Mirando going to get this thing underway. Heat number 4. After this, 5 more will transfer out of this heat, and then we will head into the B main, and we will set the final grid for the 35-lap feature, which will be a little bit later on in the evening. But Brandon, get them going for heat number 4.
Eric Tupper, that 115 on the low side, ready to get these guys going. Green flag is in the air for heat race number 4.
Brandon, I'm going to tell you, those guys on the outside, they have been ready to go on all of these starts. The one got a pretty good jump, but he didn't get the run into 1. He got really loose. McConnell to the inside. McConnell will take 2nd. McConnell's going to dig to the inside, try to get a sniff for the lead. Not going to happen, but they're side by side for 3rd on back.
Side by side for 3rd on back. That includes that transfer position. Now that's one that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Corey's at 5th position.
5th position is now in the hands of Kevin Nixon, who's on the inside. He got really loose.
Almost a little bit of wheel hop action going on there.
Yeah, that ended up putting the 611 of Hemlett in the number 9 of Miller into a precarious position, but they were able to get through it. So Nixon still hanging on to that position for the time being, but not to discredit a battle that we may have up front. Tupper and McConnell, 2 fast drivers going for this heat win. Maybe even Schneider and the 3 machine making a 3-car battle up front.
3 cars in a line right now. Maybe a move for the lead coming up here soon. McConnell, I think, just trying to find the momentum. Here he goes out of the low side by side for the lead.
He tried to take a little bit of a slider on in there, but I'm just not sure if of all the things these cars do have limitations in. I think they kind of have a hard time with sliders. They can't quite clear. 75 tried washing them up the track, couldn't quite do it.
Oh, he's going to try to throw it in there again. Not going to be able to make a stick as well that time. He's going to have to regather himself and try it again. Now he's got company for the 3 on the low side.
3 to the low side, 115 in front, 3 tried to clear. He may be able to clear him in 1 if he cuts it off and slides it right in front. He will do so. Crossover, slight contact with a 75. 75 got the worst end of that.
That was more than slight contact, Corey.
Yeah, now the 3 all the way in the loose stuff, top of the track. These guys still side by side. Tupper's pulled out to over a second.
Rick Schneider on that high side. McConnell losing ground on the low side. Now that's the battle for second. And now they got another car with them also. That's going to be Dylan Morondo.
Yeah, Morondo is in 4th. Dylan Hutchinson is in 5th. That transfer battle has completely fizzled out. Jody Boots is all the way back there, second behind in the number 32. So as we come through 3 and 4 is your leader of Eric Tupper. He's going to take the white flag, but the battle seems to be for 2nd through 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys still chugging along here, still trying to battle it out here right to the very end of this heat race. Looks like Eric Tupper is going to come home with the victory. Battle for 3rd at the line, 75.
It's Tupper, Schneider, McConnell, Morondo, and Hutchinson, the final 5 drivers to automatically transfer through. So now we have more drivers to set through into the feature, and we're going to do it via the B main. And the B main is lining up here on the grid. And let's give you the lineup for what will be the 12-lap consolation race, the final chance to get into the feature event here tonight. Leading the field in the B main is going to be Chevy Coleman and Brett Perigo on the front row, Wyatt Layton in 3rd, Jody Boots in 4th, Justin Sick and Casey Pruitt 6th and 7th. And then finishing off your top 10 is Chris Miller, Michael Kerr, and Bruce Wiles. In 11th place, Thomas Barth. In 12th, Zachary Emlett, Royal Cutway, Lyle Christensen, and Roddy Klein, your top 15. And then rounding out your 20-car B main is Kevin Nixon, Steve Clare, Ron Rogues, Taylor James, and Michael Steffen.
So, B-Main racing time here. The Synergy Dirt Racing Series from the Volusia Speedway Park. And we are looking to see another really good race. Corey, only 2 cars advancing to the feature.
Only 2 out of this?
Only 2. That's what I'm showing.
Wow. Oh, yeah. We got 5 out of each heat. We have a 22 car, so we got 20 guys going for 2 spots. Something tells me there's going to be a lot of guys fighting for very few spots, and this may get rather exciting. In fact, it will.
So, the battle for the transfer going to be right up front in this one. And there's a lot of cars in this B main, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, whether everyone is going to stay on all 4 wheels, I mean, that's... I mean, if you saw last week, well, that didn't quite happen all the time. There were cars in various orientations, if we'll say it properly, to appease the iRacing staff, but it's going to be Chevy Coleman, it's going to be Brett Perigo on the front row. Those are, again, 2 drivers transferring, 20-car field, 12 laps, adding 2 more for this event. Remember, it's going to be 35-lap feature following this. Coming through 3 and 4. Brandon, get them going for us.
22 Chevy Coleman could be leading these guys to the green flag. Pace car is off. Ladies and gentlemen, it's B-Main time. We're green flag.
Outside didn't get quite the run that they have been getting in the past, but Coleman will clear for the lead without any kind of contesting into corner number 2. And we have massive carnage down the back straightaway.
Oh, my.
That's Casey Pruitt, and can't quite tell the 32 machine completely upside down. Remember, there's no cautions here in the B main, so we do stay green. That's Coleman and Perigo. They've pulled away, and well, remember, they're the only two that are transferring through, top two drivers, so now they have quite the buffer on the field now, Brandon.
Yeah, absolutely they do. If I'm that top two, I'm just ready to ride, you know, less than 21 wants to make a move. But if I'm those two right now, I'm just going to ride and not the plans right now. That 21 machine, he made a move down low.
Brandon, these are racers. They don't ride, they go for it.
You're not wrong, Corey.
But there's a lot on the line. As we said, with the championship standings, you got to make it to the feature. The 21's digging on the inside, trying to clear. They're going to be side by side. And Brandon, what is this going to do? This is going to bring the 007 a copy on in late into the mix, and we're going to have a battle for this transfer spot.
Absolutely, we are. These guys battling side by side now. Coleman on the high side, and Perigo down low, and it's good. They brought these other guys in all right.
Yes, they did. And again, you kind of said it, Brandon. If they just rode, maybe they would have kept that gap. But, I mean, we know the racers in us. You can't always do that. You got to go for the win. And it may have actually backfired if these guys don't make it to the feature event. But it's going to be a much more competitive battle on our hands. That 007 is right there. So that 22 is going to be really patient and really precise with his moves, because it could backfire and allow that 069 to pass him right by.
Chevy Coleman on the loose, or on the high side now. That's the 007 on the low side, trying to make a move for the transfer.
And look at the big move. The 007 washes him up in the track, and now he's around.
Oh no, big implications.
That was a send it move, and I mean, oh, and here we go, another driver around on the back straightaway.
Oh my.
That was Steve Clare in the 39, so, I mean, who's going to be in second now? It's Chris Miller, but he has Wyatt Layton right there, 3 laps to go. So, we've seen what these guys are willing to do to try to get in that transfer spot. What does that 069 do? He does have a lapper to the inside.
Lap car, Thomas Barth on the inside. They get around him, no problem. Battle for the transfer, still on though, Corey.
Yes, it is, and he's a little bit farther back. He's out of what we call send it range, and you can see that lower groove starting to slick it off. These guys really committing to the top of the track, and the white flag in the air for the B main. This is the battle. Is that 069 close enough? I don't think he is, especially now. It goes really wide off of 2. Brett Perigo in that 21. He's lost some time, and this is going to be a battle for the win. He got it at the line, Miller.
No way!
I mean,
for the B-main win.
I didn't even pay attention to that as a battle for the lead, but what do you know? He got it there at the stripe.
Unbelievable.
Well, yeah, that was, I mean, completely caught me off guard. I didn't even realize that, but good way to sneak that in, Brandon. But we got to get ready for what we came here for, the feature event here for 35 laps at Volusia. Leading the main event here tonight is going to be Lewis Clark, and that 111 machine. Brett rolls to the outside in the feature. It's going to be in third, Billy Brickley, rather, and Eric Tupper in fourth. Brent Holloway in fifth, Horton Bailey in sixth, Brandon Igo in seventh, Rick Schneider in eighth, Michael Rodriguez in ninth, and Andy Marvuglio in 10th. And the remainder of the starters will flash by on the bottom of the ticker, Brandon. And yeah, now we have 35 laps, and remember, caution laps are on, so some of these wrecks we have seen will cue out the pace truck, and we know how that will change things up and how exciting these restarts can be.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, pace truck rolls off. It's A-main time, presented by iRacing from Real World Sanctions like Dirt Car, World of Outlaws, IMSA, IndyCar, and much more. iRacing, the realest sim out there and the #1 choice for sim racers all over the world.
Of course, and For those watching on PTR TV, we would most certainly appreciate a like and a subscribe. We still have 5 more races on the schedule for this Energy Dirt Racing Series, so if you like what you see, you can hit that like button, that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and you won't miss any of the content on the channel. You won't miss any more of these races as we have them going up until the middle of April, and we are hitting the the one to go rather, and the 35-lap feature event about to be underway, Brandon.
It's going to be Clark and Rolls on the front row, leading these guys to the green flag, Corey. We've seen some awesome racing all night so far, and it's not going to stop there. Getting ready for the A main now. Pace truck will be pulling off this time by these guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to go green flag racing. Here we go. Pace truck ducks off. Ladies and gentlemen, it's A-Main Racing, this Synergy Dirt Racing Series. We're underway.
And again, we've seen it many a time, Brandon. That outside line is ready to go, and now that it's a little bit more worn in, it's going to be even more beneficial than it was before. That 18 of Brett Rolls is going to send it around the top of the truck and take the lead, and we're going to be under caution immediately.
Caution flag is in the air already.
Brandon Ego in the number 4 machine.
Wow, what a ride.
Yeah, he got turned from the inside of the track, sent on his roof, the 33 machine around of James Webb as well, but somehow he got himself situated back on all 4s. I don't know how well it's handling, but apparently not very well, as he, as we probably expected, will head into the pits for perhaps terminal issues. And well, we didn't even get going, Brandon, and again, this track sometimes is conducive to that, the odd shape, and especially when we have more drivers out there. And especially where it is starting to slicken off as well, so, I mean, naturally it is going to be a little bit more difficult than perhaps, especially for these drivers who are only in heat number 1.
Yeah, you know, you got to remember, these guys, some of these guys haven't been out on track for a good amount of time now, and these guys are really worn in, and it's gotten slick, so you try to throw it into 1, and there's no grip.
Yeah, I know in our iRacing esports race here, they did actually have a 5-minute warm-up, which kind of reacclimates you to the track. Again, if you haven't been out on track in almost a half hour, it really does kind of help give you that opportunity to just figure out what has changed with the track and the lighting, the grip, all that stuff that is different than what you drove a half hour ago, because we know, Brandon, a half hour on a dirt track is a lot different than a half hour on an asphalt track.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And drastic changes to the track, you know, in that little bit of time. But meanwhile, lights are off up on top of the iRacing official pace truck. Corey, take us away from the restart.
Most certainly. Again, we've seen that outside all night. That guy on the outside has been able to get that jump and many a time lead him off into corner number 1. Lewis Clark is going to try to do that as well, but Brett Rolls is going to try to get that jump on the inside, and he's going to do exactly that, and he's going to clear for the lead by 2 car lengths heading into 1.
That 18 machine got the good jumps out of the corner number 1. Now down out of 2. It's going to be side by side for that second position. Now that clears. It's going to be 3rd.
And to the inside is the 111 trying to get a left rear tire under there. He's going to do that. He tried to, but it's going to have to fall back in line. Now Billy Brickley is going to go all the way against the fence to the inside, and the caution's out one more time.
Brett Perigo, one of the big hitters coming into tonight's from last week. He is upside down on the front stretch.
Yeah, contact with the 94 machine sends the 4 into the fence. Remember, the 4 just had issues. And 21 stuck on his side there, got himself situated, but now he is in the pits. And we'll see if he does get back on track at all. So, and Brandon, maybe not the start these guys have wanted, but again, we have seen that the 18 and the 111, they switched places since the start of the race, and it could just be dependent how good that guy is on the outside of getting going.
Absolutely. And, you know, we've seen some really close restarts all night so far, but I think that bottom lane has gone away just enough. It's making it a challenge for these guys to stay side by side going into the first corner here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really remember in the 4 races that we've covered, including this one, Brandon, we haven't really, I mean, in dirt racing, it's a staple, the slide job. I really can't remember too many examples of it in the races we've covered so far, but just based on what we have seen so far, I really feel like if the top 2 or any positions for that matter are close enough, that's probably going to be how it's going to be decided.
Absolutely, and you know, you can't do it too early because you lose so much momentum coming from the bottom and then trying to power off the top when these cars don't have much motor to power off with.
Yeah, you're just you're waiting. Every time you pull that slider off, you know you're going to get the crossover move on you unless the other driver screws up. So if you're going to get that crossover, you know he's going to have the momentum, and the question's going to be, is it enough momentum to get him back by you, or is that slider going to give you the position that you were desiring? So that's what we're going to have to look for in the next 20 or so laps of racing here tonight. Again, the 18er rolls to the inside, Clark to the outside, Brickley, Tupper, and Schneider, your top 5. Brandon, get them going for us.
The iRacing pace truck ready to pull in. Off it goes. Now, green flag back in the air. They're on the throttle once again.
Yeah, and Rolls was out of a hole shot right there. He got it like he was out of a gun right there, but he's going to go for a second on back. That's what we're going to be watching. Brickley is trying to get up there. Brickley's going to try to clear the 111. He can't quite clear him, has to leave the lane open to the outside. They will be side by side into one. Again, he can't quite clear as the 00, the 111 staying on the outside.
Brickley and Clark side by side for that second position. Now, bringing out 115 in. Yellow flag is out once again.
Ryan Smith.
Upside down is Ryan Smith. Whoa, we've seen a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, Ryan, those are donuts, but those are not ones.
Oh, man. Who was that?
Oh, my
the
God.
17. Looked like they just got up into the loose stuff, Corey, and sent them both into the wall.
Yeah, that was Michael Rodriguez as well. I saw the 27, but look at that. The 27 was on his side, but also the 17. Oh, my God. Who was that? That the 01?
Wow.
I think that was a 01, a pacer who got into the 17 and sent the 17 on an acrobatic journey as well. So
and the 4 also. Wow.
Yeah, so the caution numbers are building up here. 3 cautions already in the 13 laps we have turned, and again, I talked about, Brandon, earlier in the race how important these restarts are, and we know we've seen some late race restarts go down to green, white checkers and such, and I mean, you never know when that last restart's going to be, so you really have to prioritize every single one and just wait for that opportunity and hope that that's maybe the run that you're going to be waiting for.
Absolutely, and a little bit different thing happened on this restart. Race officials have declared a single file restart for this one, and let's try to get these guys spread out enough to get some green flag laps in.
Typically after the 3rd caution, that is kind of a new procedure, new protocol that iRacing has facilitated these league admins to implement, so we'll see if it does help us out in any regards for this restart. And we're closing in on the halfway point in this race, right around lap 17 on the odd number. We'll have the halfway, and let's see what happens. Now a new second place driver, Billy Brickley, and we know he is a fast driver. He got by that 111, and what can he do with the 18er rolls? Let's find out together. Pace truck pulls in, green flag in the air, and here we go.
Good restart for Rolls there, leading the field from single file, and Brickley staying right with him.
Yes, he is, and right behind that is that 111 of Lewis Clark, who's no slouch as well. He's going to try to get back there as well as we come off 4 and complete yet another lap. To the inside is Brickley going, and that 00, he's going to get alongside just by a whisker of that 18. Not quite. He will fall back in line, but the battle is on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the battle for the lead. 2 cars under a blanket right now. 00, 18, side by side into quarter number 1.
00 got a little bit too yawed out there, a little bit too sideways in 1 and 2. Cost him just that little bit of time, and that was what Rolls needed to be able to pull away by just that little bit of a margin. And now here comes a 00, perhaps trying to go to the outside of the track.
Brickley gonna try that high side now, and oh, he's got the momentum. Now down in a quarter number 3. Let's see what he can do off of 4.
I think he's got something cooking here, Brandon. He's going to get it at the stripe on the outside, at the line, but don't count out that 18 on the inside. He's going to get a little bit too sideways, though. They will be door-to-door, no more. That 00 has taken the lead. Impressive move.
Billy Brickley in the lead now. That leaves Rolls and that number 111 machine to battle, but caution flag is in the air once again.
It is Horton Bailey, and I will not reference any Dr. Seuss jokes like I tried to last week, but mainly because I don't have one. But looks like off of 4. Oh, who was that kind of pushed him into the fence there? Off of 4, just didn't give him in the room he needed.
Wow.
Looks like it was actually Snyder. You could see the dooring there off of 4, and then just out of racetrack is Horton. And oh my God, he got split there by 2 drivers down the front straightaway. Missed contact by mere inches. But, Brandon, we're going to be going down to about 12 to go, I think, when we get this race green. Right now, your top 10 is going to be Billy Brickley, Brett Rolls, Lewis Clark, Eric Tupper, Waylon McConnell, Rick Schneider, Brett Holloway, Frank Hartley Jr., Benjamin Gonzalez, and Devin Boots is going to be your top 10. Remember, we had 22 drivers start this race, and I think by the numbers still have 19 of them on the track, 19 of them on the lead lap.
So these guys,
is it too early for a take your pick, Brandon?
I think a little bit too early right now, and you know how fast things happen in dirt racing, Corey. And
all right, I'll ask you later.
I think we're going to have one more opportunity to take your pick.
All right, I'll ask you later, Brandon. Hey, Brandon. It's later. Take your pick.
I'm going to... Wow.
Is it later enough?
All right, fine. You want to do that? I'm going to take that 00 machine, Billy Brickley.
I'm going to go, and I'm going to expect some shenanigans to go on. I'm taking the 111.
All right. Interesting picks here. Pace car getting ready to duck off, this time by the field single file once again for a restart. Brickley going to be taking these guys around on the throttle. Green flag back in the air.
I'll tell you, that 111 was trying to make my pick accurate there. He was ready to go. Entering 1, took a look to the inside, but had to back off, fall back in line. He's going to try to set up that number 18, but he will fall back right behind him. But he has to watch out. Waylon McConnell and then Eric Tupper. Remember Eric Tupper winning one of his heats. He's trying to gain some spots in these closing laps.
Clark challenging for that second position now. Now he's going to lose ground. I think a little bit of contact on an inside wall. He's going to have to watch out. He's going to have company from behind him.
He seems like you really have to run right on that top of the track, or you really have to nail it right against the concrete. But you hit that concrete, obviously. I mean, you can infer what's going to go wrong there. That seems to be what happened to the 111. But now Waylon McConnell, he's in that third spot. He's going for second to the inside of Brett Rolls. But again, that's going to open the door on the outside for the 111 if he's not careful.
McConnell on that inside, trying to fight for that second position. Saw a little bit of contact back there. Now caution flag is in the air.
I think we can safely say, Brandon, that's going to be the last caution of the night. I don't think we're going to have any more time to get restarted, and it looks like we're going to go with the 214, I want to say that one was.
Let's see here, and I believe... Oh, wow. That was big. It started up ahead.
Yeah, it was the 111 and the 3.
The 3 car was looked like maybe a little bit of contact, was trying to gather it back up, and some heavy rear end contact there.
Yeah, the 214 into the 3.
Oh my. And then a big hit up the outside wall with a couple of other cars.
Yeah, so it's a whole bunch of subsidiary accidents stemming off of a single cause, which is typically how it happens when everyone is so wound up together. And well, Brandon, like I said, I think this is going to be the last restart. We're probably going to go green, 5 to go. And unless we have, as we like to call it, an insta caution, which is basically a caution within seconds of the original caution, I don't see us having a restart. So I think it's going to be a matter of I think my pick may be a little bit out now, but we have Brickley, Rolls, McConnell, and Clark, your top 2 rows. So we've seen how many times that outside has gotten the run. It hasn't happened in these last couple laps, and it's not going to happen because we're single file especially. So I think it's just going to be a matter of that 00 not making a mistake, but we'll see what happens with 5 to go.
Yeah, Brickley is going to have to be very smooth to maintain this lead, but the same goes for Rolls. He's going to have to be smooth to try to take that lead away and, you know, try to find the different lines. But for the final time tonight, green flag is in the air.
And I'll tell you that 18 was ready to go. He stayed right to the back of that 00. 00 having a little connectivity issues. That's why you see the little intermittent flashing. That's going to make the 18 a little bit more nervous in the pass, but he's going to have to put that nerve aside because Waylon McConnell is not going to back down. He's right there, and here we come into 1. McConnell to the inside, 18 right on the back bumper of the 00 in the middle groove.
3 cars under a blanket, heading down into corner number 3 now down, looking on the loose side. That's a 75 McConnell, challenging for second, not quite going to get there. Now it's going to be a battle for the lead.
You don't know if a caution's going to come out. You can't be patient. You have to make the move. You don't know when that race potentially may end. We're coming to 2 laps to go. The 18 hasn't had the opportunity, hasn't been able to take a look. If he's going to do it, he's going to have to figure it out really quick. 2 laps to go.
Heading down out of corner number 2 now. Down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, out of 4 is going to be the white flag of this time around.
White flag, the difference is about 0.2 of a second, about 1 car length, and he gained a little bit on the entry there into corner number 1. We're heading down the back straightaway for the final time. I don't think he's in send it range. He's going to send it on in there. He's going to dive it to the bottom of the track, but it's not going to happen. Billy Brickley taking win number 2 on the season.
Man, oh man, 2 weeks in a row, that 00 machine, Billy Brickley, is going to clinch it.
Billy Brickley, Brett Rolls, and Lewis Clark, your top 3. They put on quite the show. A little bit more cautions than we'd like to see, and I'm sure that they would like to see, but still these drivers up front always putting on these amazing battles for the win, and always a blast to watch. Hope you guys in the audience did enjoy it as well. So before we get to the post-race show, let's let you know how they wound up here tonight at Volusia. With the win, leading 18 laps was Billy Brickley. Brett Rolls had to settle for the second, leading 17. Those were the only 2 lap leaders here tonight in the feature. Lewis Clark and Waylon McConnell, 3rd and 4th. Frank Hartley pulling off a top 5 here tonight. Great run for him. Eric Tupper in 6th. James Webb in 7th. Devin Boots in 8th. Michael Rodriguez and Dylan Hutchison the top 10. And I know, Brandon, you hate reading, but how about you take the rest of the results?
Maybe not a good idea, Court.
Maybe not a good idea. Chris Miller in 11th, Horton Bailey in 12th, Rick Schneider in 13th, Al Pacer in 14th, Dylan Morando in 15th, Andy Marvuglio in 16th, Brandon Igo in 17th, Brett Holloway, Ryan Smith, and in 20th is Benjamin Gonzalez. And rounding out your 22-car grid, Brett Moser and Jake Moser, rather, and Brett Perigo. So I think we do have a couple of these guys ready for interviews, Brandon, if I am correct in assuming so. And Brandon is going down there into the media trailer and trying to find these guys. So while he can...
Corey, I did manage to find someone, and I believe he's ready to talk to you.
Yep, we do have Brett ready, our 2nd place finisher, man. You took a stab at it. You led half of the feature here tonight, but all those restarts, man, he just got around you on that outside. Was there anything different you think you could have done to hold off for the W?
Oh no, man. Brickley, he's fast no matter what car you put him in or what track you give him to run at. That last restart there, I thought I was going to be able to have something for him there at the finish, but he was able to get away from me and just sort of maintain it. So yeah, no, I definitely don't think I would have had nothing for him. He's a top competitor and fast week in and week out.
But you found yourself in good positions, man, in these races that we have covered. So maybe he might be out of your reach, maybe for the win, at least for the time being. But you have been really showing the pace that you can compete there in the top 5. So you have confidence in the remainder of the season that maybe you can sneak one out or give him a little bit more of a challenge.
Oh yeah, I just took the championship in 305s over at my team, Har Motorsports event that we ran for about 12 weeks. So I'm fairly comfortable and confident in the cars. the main thing that hurt me was I missed a week because of work scheduling, and now I'm just trying to play catch up. And these guys are no slouches. They're fast guys week in and week out, so it's really difficult to make up points here. So letting Brickley get by definitely hurt a little bit more than I was hoping to get.
Yeah, but sometimes real world stuff does happen, but you're making the best of what you can do, and obviously no shame in that. All the power and the props to you. So I know you have some shout outs you want to give for your second place finish here tonight.
Oh yeah, I gotta thank Hall Motorsports, or Hall Graphics. He did the wrap on the car. In my opinion, it's one nasty looking sprint car. I gotta thank Hall Motorsports, the team I run, Al for putting this on, and the guys over here at Synergy. Guys for hopping on board with the broadcast. Pretty excited and stoked to say that we had a full house tonight of competitors for the first time all season. So hopefully that continues. Been some pretty serious competition over here. In practice tonight, I think I was like 22nd, 23rd, and I was only 2 behind the leader. So all the guys that come here week in and week out, I want to thank. And other than that, you guys for putting on the broadcast every week for us.
All right, 10-4, man. Appreciate the good words, and congrats on your finish, and hopefully we'll be talking to you in the future.
Thanks, man. Y'all have a good night.
And Brandon has caught up with the winner of tonight's race, Billy Brickley.
Yeah, down here in Victory Lane, celebrating Billy Brickley out of the race car now. Billy, tell us about your night, and tell us how you ended up here in Victory Lane.
Yeah, well, I think we got a little lucky there at first. Started deeper than I wanted to in that feature, but just kind of kept it clean for 5 laps, just try to run some laps and get straightened out, and then started to make our moves. I was honestly past Brett there on the outside. Usually I'm way faster on the bottom here. For some reason the outside came in early tonight.
Yeah, that's one thing that we noticed up here also. Did that kind of affect your strategy going into this side? I know you guys aren't really able to run that multi-groove, or aren't really able to run the high side as much with the lower power, but the momentum carrying these things around, what was it like on some of these restarts?
The double files are real sketchy here because everybody wants to try to run that bottom, and it's a fight to get that down there if you can do it. But tonight was just different. It was weird. It never slicked off like I thought it would, and I wanted her on the bottom, but it just never got there, so I ran the top side, and I was able to hold them off, so I never even tried to change lanes.
Yeah, absolutely. It worked out for you, and you guys went to the single file race starts, and obviously a couple of cautions on the night. Walk us through a couple of those restarts, and you said it was sketchy. Just how sketchy was it, especially when you were further back in the pack?
Yeah, you can't tell where the guy next to you is, so when you go to the bottom, you don't know if he's gonna come down on you, and then when you come out of the turns here, it sucks you towards the wall just naturally, so you're trying to stay off of him and just try not to cause a big caution up front. The single files I was glad to see, because that's when I knew I was going to have a better shot at running for the lead.
Speaking of restarts, staying on the same subject, to walk us through that final restart. You were restarting in the lead, and you managed to pull away just enough so that way the guys behind you started to battle, and you were able to pull away from it.
Yeah, I was actually sleeping on that last one. I usually try to go a little bit before they drop that green. After the initial restart, it's on the driver, so I try to go a little bit sooner than everybody else. And I was sleeping on the last one, but I managed to make it work, hold them off.
Billy, you take home the win tonight. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank, give a shout out to?
I just want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and Synergy again for this thing on. Just doing it by myself, so here we are.
Man, awesome job tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner of the night, Billy Brickley.
Thanks again, guys.
All right, so that is our post-race show. We don't have Lewis Clark to talk to for third place, but luckily we did have who we did have, so we're going to wrap up coverage of tonight, but a couple shout-outs we do want to give first. Couple longtime partners of the channel, Movement and Fabrications. Brandon and his two companies, Krutz Custom Graphics, for all your graphical design needs. And of course, he has his new company, Fame Apparel, for any kind of motorsports apparel and various different types that you may want. Brandon, if you want to give a shout out on those.
Yeah, absolutely. Be sure to follow Fame and Krutz Custom Graphics on social media. A lot of cool real-world updates coming along there. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yep, and some changes coming to PTR TV even more so. We're looking to do some more graphic designs with our overlay, so some cool things to look forward to. And have some more content on the Esports Network. Still looking for more partners with the channel, so if you are looking to have your league covered, of course, check us out, primetimерacing.tv, and we'll be happy to talk to you and hope to cover your event on the channel in the future. Always enjoy the broadcast. Hope you do at home, and if you do, give a like and subscribe. Much appreciated. So, again, hope you enjoyed tonight's coverage of the Synergy Dirt Series here on PTR TV, bringing it right back to you next Saturday night. So, again, signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva and Brandon Krutz. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a great night, and catch you next time, everybody.